Hallo und willkommen zurück zu unserer Adventure-Reihe mit Baphomets Fluch, Teil 11. In der letzten Folge waren wir im Krankenhaus und haben gerade Nico davon erzählt, dass wir noch einen Mord beobachten konnten und jetzt müssen wir, glaube ich, ins Museum gehen und außerdem gucken wir nochmal bei der Polizei, ob der Kommissar da ist. Nee, er ist nicht da. Dann gehe ich erstmal ins Museum und gucke nochmal, ob wir da irgendwie weiterkommen. Aber zwischendurch sollte ich vielleicht mal speichern. Ich weiß nicht, inwiefern das Spiel das automatisch macht. Und wir sind bei 50%. Ah, endlich ist der Doktor da. Hoffentlich ist er das.
I beg your pardon. Are you André Lobineau?
That's me. You want my autograph?
No. I was told you may be able to help me.
Help?
My name is George Stobart. I'd like your professional opinion.
Well, okay. Shoot.
Boah, ist das hell, man kann selbst die Symbole nicht erkennen.
Have you ever heard of the Hashashin?
Why, yes. It was a radical Muslim sect whose name became synonymous with murder. It was formed in 11th century Persia, shortly before the Crusades.
At roughly the same time as the Templars.
Yes, they gave a new word to our language. Assassini, the assassins.
How did the assassins get their name?
From the legend surrounding the secrets of their initiation rites. A young man who sought to join the sect was given hashish until he drifted into dreams. He awoke to find himself in a fabulous garden with everything he could wish for. The freshest water, the most delicious food, the choicest hash, and the most delectable women imaginable.
Cool. Do you have the address?
I haven't finished the story. There was a price to pay for this taste of paradise.
Wouldn't you just know it?
The young man would wake the next day to find himself back in the real world. He was told that he'd been given a glimpse of the heaven reserved for holy martyrs. A heaven he would enjoy for eternity if he was willing to join the Hashashin.
How did the assassins operate?
Well, as I explained, the new recruits would be only too willing to die for the cause. They'd be instructed in the use of the dagger, poisons, and disguise. Then, the Grand Master of the sect would name an enemy of Allah.
And they'd stop at nothing to eliminate that enemy.
You got it. They were fearless and deadly.
Does the cult of the assassins still exist?
Take a look around at the world today. You tell me.
Okay.
I think you ought to know that the tripod is going to be stolen.
The Lochman tripod? No.
It's true. I can give you a description of the thieves.
Before the supposed event has taken place?
I heard them planning the raid.
They're wasting their time. The tripod is protected by a state-of-the-art alarm system.
Well, don't say I didn't warn you.
Okay.
Does the name Montfaucon mean anything to you?
Sure. It was the most grisly spectacle in Paris until the Revolution.
A public toilet?
Montfaucon was the place of execution for many thousands. A dark temple of death, with row upon row of arches, each one framing a grim exhibit. Scores of rotting corpses swung on creaking rope, while the crows devoured their flesh.
That explains the image of the hanged man. I found a reference to Montfaucon in Ireland, in a village called Lochmarn.
Lochman? That's where Pegram was digging.
That's right. He'd left the excavation before I arrived. Where was the site of Montfaucon?
To the northeast, near the Canal Saint-Martin, but there's nothing there now. The old gibbet was torn down during the Revolution.
Why don't you loan the tripod to me for safekeeping?
Because I'd never see it again.
Well, don't you trust me?
It's not a question of trust, George. That tripod is hundreds of years old and extremely fragile.
I get your point. I'd like your opinion on a medieval manuscript.
Vraiment? Do you have it with you?
No, it's too fragile. And besides, there are certain people who'd stop at nothing to get their hands on it.
Intriguing. Do you have a copy of the text?
There isn't much. Only a few Latin phrases. I was kind of hoping you'd help decipher the pictures.
Without seeing the manuscript, that's a tall order.
Just tell me one thing. What does the image of two men riding on the same horse suggest to you?
The Knights Templar. Does the Templar seal appear on this manuscript? I'd love to see that for myself.
Can you tell me anything about the Knights Templar?
I sure can, Georgie. Soldiers, diplomats, mercenaries, monks, bankers, you name it, the Templars fit the bill. The greatest fighting force in Christendom, the militia of Christ.
Jeez. How did the Templars get their name?
From the building in which they set up their headquarters. The King of Jerusalem gave them part of a mosque on the Temple Mount. It was said to have been the site of the original Temple of Solomon. The order became known first as the Knights of the Temple and later as the Knights Templar.
You're a mine of information, Andre.
Glad to be of help, Georgie.
How come the Templars became so wealthy?
There was a constant stream of new recruits to their ranks, many from noble families. They were required to swear a sacred oath of poverty, chastity, and obedience. So, their money, goods, and lands were donated to the order. The Templars soon held land in France, Scotland, England, Spain, most of Europe, in fact. The poor Knights of Christ became the wealthiest power in Christendom.
Is it true the treasure of the Knights Templar was never found?
Who knows? So little knowledge of what really happened remains. Or, if it does, the truth has never been made public.
What do you mean by that?
The Templars have attained mythological status, like the King Arthur of the Britons. There are people even now who say the Templars still exist.
Do you think that's likely?
No, not for a minute.
Okay.
Do you know Pegram well?
Not really. I met him at a conference. I would have liked to talk to him in depth, but I didn't have time.
When was this?
Back in the summer, July, I think.
The manuscript is being looked after by a friend.
In Paris?
Yeah. Not far from here, in fact.
Well, just give me the address and I'll come round and take a look.
I'm not so sure about that. Maybe I should check with her first.
A female friend?
Yeah, she's a woman.
Okay.
This friend who has the manuscript?
Oui, the anonymous girlfriend.
She lives at 361 Rue Jarry.
I know it well. I'll drop by. Just as soon as I can.
What do you make of this?
It's the biggest gemstone I've ever seen. Where did you get it?
From Professor Pegram's messenger boy.
Did Pegram find this on his dig?
Yeah, the site where this was found was a Templar castle. Do you think it could be part of the Templar treasure?
No, I shouldn't think so. You're not one of those crazies who think the Templars still exist, are you?
Well, I try to keep an open mind on the matter. What do you make of this ID card?
Nothing.
Okay. Das war's dann wahrscheinlich soweit.
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
Sollte ich wahrscheinlich erstmal zu Andre gehen. Zu Nico gehen.
Hello, George. Oh, by the way, I had a visit from André Lobineau.
Oh,
Ja,
yeah.
der war schon da, okay.
I hope you didn't mind me giving him your address.
Not at all. It was lovely to see him again. He was over the moon when I showed him the manuscript. It's not often he gets that excited. He made a sketch of the Knight's crest to take back to the museum. I believe he's identified the family who bear that crest.
I sure hope so. Do you think the assassin was responsible for killing Marquet?
I don't think so. He could have finished him off the first time. Besides, Marquet would have recognized him.
He was pumped to the gills with sedatives. He wouldn't have recognized the four horsemen of the apocalypse unless they'd introduced themselves.
Okay.
I'd better get back to the quest.
Ich schätze mal, dann sollen wir jetzt wieder zurück. Montfaucon, was war das denn nochmal? Ja, erstmal ins Museum und gucken, ob er das ausfindig gemacht hat.
Hi, Andre.
Hello, Georgie. Hey, I visited Nicole's apartment.
Yeah, she told me you came by.
Ooh, quite a fine Georgie boy. I didn't expect anything quite so sexy.
I hope you're referring to the manuscript.
Oui, of course.
What did you make of the manuscript?
It dates from the time of the Crusades.
We guessed that from the Templar seal.
It's a story and pictures like a modern-day comic book.
What story does the manuscript tell?
I don't know. It was probably produced for the tourist market.
Tourists?
Oh, oui, pilgrims in their thousands on their way to Jerusalem. The tourist trade is nothing new, you know. It's been around for centuries. Ever since Joshua made a packet selling souvenir bricks from the walls of Jericho.
Have you deciphered any of the images on the manuscript?
There's very little I can be sure about. The slang of the bull could be a reference to Mithras.
Who's he?
A Persian god, almost as popular as Christ at one time. The only thing I can be sure of is the knight. He's Spanish.
How can you tell that?
The writing on the shield, the reference to Ave Maria. No self-respecting knight from Northern Europe would have borne a coat of arms like that.
Okay.
Can you identify the knight's coat of arms?
I already did, Georgie. He's a member of the De Vasconcelos family from the Costa Calida.
Were they famous?
No. They're not mentioned after the 15th century.
Oh.
The spotlight of history moved on. They're probably long dead.
Okay. Ja, was soll ich ihm
Thanks
noch
for your help,
zeigen?
Andre.
You're welcome.
Ich jetzt erstmal wieder zurück zum Mikro vielleicht. Hier kann ich immer noch nichts machen. Gucken, was die davon hält.
Hello, George.
Do you think the assassin was
Nein, das
responsible?
hat man schon.
He would.
Warum kommt das denn immer wieder?
Is there something going on between you and Labano?
What business is it of yours? We agreed all this. The clown, the Templars, strictly business, remember?
Yeah, but
So get off my case.
Okay, reagieren wir gleich so zickig. Aha.
I'd better get back to the quest.
Dann gehe ich halt wieder. Oh Mann. Ach nee, ins Museum wollte ich nicht. Was ist denn das hier oben?
I once read a list of low-stress jobs. It didn't include police work. Obviously, this guy hadn't read the same list. Excuse me, officer. Shouldn't you be off directing traffic or something?
You have seen the Parisian traffic, no?
Yeah, so?
I could direct the traffic. The most dangerous, the east side of Rome. Or I can sit here and enjoy the sun, the architecture, and the so-so Sauvignon. Which would you choose?
Yeah, but I'm not a policeman. What happened to duty?
An excellent question, monsieur.
What do you know about the Knights Templar?
Les Templiers. Only that they were excommunicated in 1312 and hanged in their dozens within this very square.
Boy, what they teach in the police academy these days.
No, monsieur. I read it on that board over there.
Look at this gem. What do you think?
Cut glass.
No, it's not. It's for real.
What kind of madman would go around waving a priceless gem under people's noses?
So either it's glass or I'm mad? I didn't like to think about that for too long.
Das ist richtig.
I'll see you around.
Oui, monsieur. I'll be there.
Okay. Ah ne, da kann ich nur gehen. Und da ist die Tafel.
In French, English, and German, it read, in 1312, Pope Clement V dissolved the Knightly Order of the Templars and excommunicated its members on charges of heresy. In the following 2 years, many of the knights were hanged on this site. Their Grand Master, Jacques de Molay, was burnt at the stake on an island in the Seine.
Ah, da geht's rein. Ist da hinten noch was? Da ist nichts mehr. Okay. Ah, da ist noch ein Gullideckel.
I couldn't open it with my bare hands.
Ja, ja.
Hey! Hey, you! What do you think you are doing? Leave that cover alone. Now,
Sorry, no harm intended.
you stay away from that.
Okay, gut, dann gehen wir erstmal rein und finden raus, was wir mit dem Gullideckel machen sollen.
A row of old pews, beautifully carved and glowing with polish. I thought of all the people who must have sat here over the decades. All those Parisian derrieres, firm buttocks of the young ladies, the flabby flesh of the old men. That wasn't a pleasing image, so I went back to the young ladies. Whoa! I didn't have time to sit around.
Ja, stimmt. Was ist hier vorne? Das ist eine Heizung.
A knight, there in the company of his fellows. Biblical references engraved into the tomb edge to guide his way to the next world, I guess. A statue of a knight holding a staff and a scroll. The statue had any secrets. It was concealing them pretty well.
Nein, wird mal hier. Sehen wir erstmal, ob wir damit was machen
On the
können.
end of the staff was some kind of disc with a cross on it. Around the base of the disc was a hairline crack.
Haare. Kann ich das kaputt machen mit irgendwas? Wahrscheinlich nicht. Wir sollten es damit kaputt machen, das ist ja Schwachsinn. Ich kann da draufhauen. Oder auch nicht. Okay, dann müssen wir das erstmal sagen.
A stone knight lay in full stone armor, blank eyes looking at the ceiling. Carrying all that armor around must have been hard work. A scroll was a symbol of scholarship. I knew that much. A scholarly knight. That rang a bell. A very Spanish bell. I didn't recognize the biblical story in it. I was a Sunday school dropout. Somehow it looked more modern than its neighbor.
Das hatten wir doch auch schon, oder?
A knight, there in the company of his fellows.
Okay, aber bisher gibt es noch keinen Grund, was rauszufinden. Ich schau mal in die Tipps. Was soll ich tun? Ah, okay. Die Tipps haben mir gesagt, dass ich weg soll. Aber im Museum war doch, glaube ich, gar nichts, oder? Nee, da komme ich ja wieder rein. Okay. Da ging's auf dem Bild. Ja, so muss ich entweder... Aber im Museum war doch nichts. Ich schätze mal eher, dass ich die Gauner suchen muss. Kann ich noch zu diesem Hotel gehen und dann gucken, ob die noch davor stehen? Aber warum sollten die davor stehen? Das macht ja keinen Sinn. Hier ist noch das Museum und hier ist das Café, da ist nichts mehr. Da ist Nicoles Wohnung und das ist die Polizei. Gut, dann gehe ich mal zur Polizei und sage dem vielleicht, dass sie das überfallen wollen. Oder habe ich ihm das schon gesagt? Weiß ich nicht mehr.
Yes.
I'd like to report an assault.
Yes, monsieur. Where is the victim?
I'm the victim.
Ja, das hatten wir doch alles schon.
Could you describe?
One, their name.
Bla 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 bla.
See you later, Sergeant.
Hier gibt's nichts Neues. Dann gehen wir zum Museum. Und hier draußen gucke ich nochmal, es gab nichts anderes.
Pardon me.
Oui, monsieur?
Aber das habe ich ihn doch alles schon gefragt.
Thanks for your...
Okay, dann schauen wir mal kurz in die Tipps. Interessant. Okay, aber da darf ich ja aktuell nicht rein.
Leave it alone. That closet is over 3,000 years old.
Closet? It's a sarcophagus.
Ja, also ich müsste ihn irgendwie ablenken, aber wie? Ah, ich kann das Fenster aufmachen und dann geht er hin und macht es zu und in der Zeit kann ich vielleicht in den Sarkophag schlüpfen. Ja, es funktioniert. Genial.
It is closing time, Monsieur Lobineau.
Already, there just aren't enough hours in the day.
More than enough for me. I can't wait to get home and put my feet up.
Eh bien, see you tomorrow.
Good night, Monsieur.
Ah, da sind die Gauner.
Quit fooling around, you moron! Get your ass over here and bring that flashlight! What the... Who's there?
Let's get out of here!
Oh Mann. Was zur Hölle? War das Nico?
And when I woke up, I was at the police station. Luckily, I managed to persuade Rosso I was innocent.
Poor George.
What a mess. I bungled the whole thing.
I don't think so. You made a pretty good job of distracting those two crooks.
Yeah, but the killer got away with the tripod.
No, he didn't. He's not the only one who can dress up in costume.
You mean it was you who stole the tripod? Oh, hell, Nico. I could have been shot.
Those dogs are more likely to shoot their own feet.
I just wish you'd told me your plans. We're supposed to be in this together. And how come you dressed up like a pantomime cat?
Don't sulk, Georgie, please.
Oh, rats. And don't call me Georgie.
Oh, I really thought you'd be pleased. After all, we've got the tripod.
Ja, das stimmt.
Just how long have you known
Oh,
him?
jetzt geht's wieder um den
You never,
Typen.
I thought he was...
So, you know, I'd forgot.
Ja.
I'd better
Gut.
get back to the quest.
Nein! Oh. Ah, ich hab's mitgenommen jetzt, okay. Und jetzt? Gucken wir uns mal ein Museum an.
Pardon me? Oui, monsieur?
Das hatten wir doch schon. Ja,
Thanks for your help. Hi, Andre.
Hello,
ja, das lassen wir besser sein, ne?
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
Okay, aber vielleicht kann ich jetzt, warte mal, in die Kirche gehen, in das Moncamp, oder wie das hieß, und dort dann irgendwas mit dem Ding anstellen, Montfaucon. 13. Kinder, okay.
Hey, you with the balls.
Oui?
How did you learn to be a juggler?
Juggler? What is this juggler?
It's you. You juggle, that makes you a juggler.
No! I am a jongleur!
A jongler? What's that?
Mon Dieu! A jongleur is an artist, a master of the contragravitic aeroballetic mysteries. In centuries past, the courts of the crownheads of Europe had the jongleurs, witty, erudite men to whom the monarchs turned in their hours of need.
Wait a minute, wait. Let me get this straight. Our enemies are at the borders. Plague ravages the land, and the peasants are revolting. Thank God we've got Chuckles the Jongler to throw his balls around. I don't think so.
That juggling doesn't look so difficult.
Oh, it does not, does it not? Perhaps you feel you could do better, no?
I'll give it a try.
Be my guest.
I had no idea what I was doing. But this guy was obviously an idiot, so how difficult could it be?
A lot more difficult than I thought. That's how difficult. Still, it was my big chance to be derided by complete strangers.
Not so easy after all, is it?
No, I guess not.
Aber ich darf das bestimmt immer noch nicht machen, oder?
Hey,
Das
hey,
ich mir schon. Ja, ist ja gut. Ich kann
I
mit
had
der
no
Familie
desire to
reden.
talk to the crowd.
Der Jongleur steht im Weg.
Hi again.
Oui? What is it this time?
What do you know about the Knights Templar?
LetsPlay? Ah, the last Grand Master, Jacques Dumoulin, was burnt on an island in the Seine in 1314.
Wow. You're pretty well educated for a juggler.
No, monsieur. I read it on that board over there.
Look, a red nose.
Ah, you are a clown.
A clown?
No, if so, you would be a much better jongleur.
For a moment, an idea capered around near the spotlight of my attention, but fell down the pothole of abstraction before I could focus on it. It didn't seem right to fry somebody's palm when they make their living with their hands.
Das könnte ja noch witzig sein.
Does this grease paint mean anything to you?
A red nose, and now grease paint. You are sure you are not a clown?
Well, I was distracted by the idea again. Caper, 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 plummet. No, gone again.
Oh Mann.
Does this plaster interest you?
Well,
Forget it. Forget that I asked. Have you seen this man before?
no.
This gadget is a sewer key.
I do not want it. Thank you.
Well, I'm not selling it. I just wanted your opinion.
It is hardly my area of expertise.
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
You smoke.
No, I don't.
In that case, it means nothing to me.
Does this lab pass mean anything to you?
You work in a lab.
No, try again.
You steal lab passes.
No. Well, not as a habit. This was a special case. What do you think of this?
It is a medical device, oui?
Feast your eyes on this.
Incroyable. Is it real?
I think so.
Some people believe that great gems always have curses upon them.
Oh, that's garbage. Although, now that I think about it, both of the people who had this before me disappeared in mysterious circumstances. And the guy who was supposed to get this was shot and then murdered in his hospital bed. Do you want it?
No, thank you.
I've got a medieval tripod.
And my Uncle Claude has hemorrhoids. So what?
Okay, jetzt bin ich durch.
Catch you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Merkwürdig. Ah, okay, jetzt muss ich mal sehen. Okay. Was hat das mit dem Polizisten
Excuse
zu
me,
tun?
officer. Does this red nose mean anything to you?
Ah, you are a clown.
Do I look like a clown?
No, although you juggle like one. Now, if I'd known you were a clown, it would have been amusing and not a humiliation for you.
What do you mean?
Whoever heard of a plainclothes clown?
He had a point. So you're saying that if I juggle badly with a red nose, I'd be the king of comedy. But if I juggle badly without it...
You look like a pathetic loon. Oui, monsieur, you have it.
Shouldn't you be off directing
Ja, das hatten wir ja auch schon, das Gespräch.
Which would
Yeah.
Und das andere, da sagt er mir dann nur, dass
I'll
ich
see you
auf
around.
das Schild gucken
Oui,
soll.
monsieur. I'll be there.
Okay, dann gehen wir nochmal mit ihm hier.
Hi again.
Oui? What is it this time?
I'd like to have another try at juggling, please.
You have gone on a crash course, perhaps.
No. I just had an insight into presentation.
Huh?
Allow me to demonstrate. The balls, please.
If you insist on completing your humiliation, monsieur.
Okay, now for my secret weapon.
Oh man.
The juggler was speechless with rage. You could have mistaken him for a mime. And without a word, he collected his balls and left in a fury. Hey! You forgot one of your balls! Hey! But he didn't hear. Better still, deprived of his entertainment, the gendarme decided maybe he ought to do some policing for a change.
Oh, okay. Okay, dann können wir jetzt den Gullideckel öffnen. Und was wir da unten finden, sehen wir dann in der nächsten Folge. Tschüss!